Maximum boosters stuck on overdrive, gainers reaching critical levels, pumpage cannot be contained. Gather around, little piggies, because Ethereum is currently making gains and leaving stains, and is the true breakout for Ethereum not even begun just yet. And Bitcoin is well absolutely on track to continue to our exact target all the way up here. And huge news for North America's first Bitcoin ETF. But the question now is, will Bitcoin continue to climb to our exact targets, or will we be left crunched, munched, and spit on? Welcome back, everyone. I'm your host, Sheldon Chartalot, and boy oh boy do we have a lot to be dumping into with Bitcoin's price, and especially Ethereum's price, as Ethereum has now broken all-time highs yet again. It's come ever so close to $2,000 per Ether, but the big question we're going to be attempting to answer in today's video is this slow inching up of Ethereum's price just the beginning before we see a real breakout for Ethereum. Wow, so if you guys are new to the channel, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and if you love blasting off in more ways than one, make sure to turn on those post notifications as well so you get updated when we post these absolutely critical, time-sensitive alerts. And as always, make sure to leave your comment below to enter for a ledger, equivalent BTC, or access to T4. And without any further spladoosh, let's spladoosh in. It's milking time. So North America's first Bitcoin ETF got off to a stellar start in its first day of trading, with investors exchanging $80 million worth of shares in the first hour. The Purpose Bitcoin ETF, which debuted in Toronto on Thursday, today invests directly in physical digital Bitcoin. It is the first product ever for Bitcoin that's officially labeled an ETF, although Europe has several physically backed quote-unquote Bitcoin products that function like an ETF. Huge news, there's sizable untapped interest for a Bitcoin investment that has the benefits of an ETF. Unlike pre-existing products, an ETF is unlikely to trade a significant premium to net asset value. While most ETFs come to market globally with an educational hurdle to overcome, many investors are familiar with what is inside this ETF. Okay, this was announced just recently, but off to a really good start for Bitcoin, and boy oh boy, Bitcoin's price continues to improve. And in fact, over the past few weeks, Bitcoin has basically only been rocketing to the upside. The past 4 weeks specifically, from about $31,000 to our current price, about $20,000 higher than it was 4 weeks ago. And as we've been discussing for the past few weeks, our next big target in the midterm is going to be around that $60,000 price target for Bitcoin. We have different targets in the immediate short term. However, the next big key fib level that we're really looking for is that $60,000 level for Bitcoin. It's had no trouble absolutely blasting past 40K and 50K, and let's just say it is looking pretty good. Guys, as you can see on Bitcoin's 1 hour chart as well, still looking very nicely here, still just sitting on top of our 1.414 fib level here, right about $51,800. So we're actually a little bit above that right now, but we've been holding just right on there. Specifically, we're holding above this key 21 moving average on the 4 hour, and significantly as well, currently above the 50, which was our last low. We bounced exactly on this level here. If we go to the 4 hour chart as well, it looks as though we are getting some sort of a retest just of, if this is some sort of rising wedge, which again, guys, usually rising wedges are typically a more bearish pattern, but in a bull market as fundamentally strong as the current bull market, sometimes we just get bearish patterns that only break to the upside. Pretty absolutely wild. But what we're seeing is here a breakout, and then we're getting that follow-through retest, backtest, which we see time and time and time again, usually a very, very good sign. So if Bitcoin, does cement that as the low, roughly about $50,800, it is likely that we could head up to our target all the way up here, roughly about $55,000. And as well, if we switch to this 6 hour chart, it illustrates it very nicely here in the very immediate short term. Again, with our target being roughly exactly about $55,000, $54,800 here. This breakout is progressing very, very nicely, very similar to Ethereum's, which we saw over the last 2 months. But now what is going on behind the screens for Ethereum is even more interesting. So we're going to be delving into that in just a second here. But again, Bitcoin just remaining so incredibly strong here. As we've been saying, it's literally so far just been finding support on the very first moving average of this EMA ribbon. Absolutely insane. We've been getting not even wicks below the very first moving average of this EMA ribbon, which is just showing just absolute immense strength. And we've been basically only finding support there for the entire month of February. So February so far for Bitcoin has been ultra bullish. You can see if we would come down to test even just the second level here, it would be all the way down at 46,000 US dollars for Bitcoin. So $6,000 lower than we currently are, just to get down to the second ribbon of the EMA ribbon, which is absolutely wild, right? The 21-day moving average is all the way down $10,000 below where we currently are, around 42,000 US dollars. And again, that's without even saying that the 21-week moving average is just all the way down here at 25,000 US dollars. More than half of Bitcoin's price would have to be sliced for us to even reach that target. So basically, what is my point? Bitcoin is absolutely gushing with gainers. Guys, and as you can see, this is something I've been monitoring for a while now, and it's very interesting we're getting this. So this is the Ethereum Bitcoin pairing. We had this little breakout of this four-year symmetrical triangle for the Ethereum Bitcoin pair. And we're coming back down. We've been kind of decreasing a little bit because Bitcoin has been blowing up so much. And even though Ethereum has done pretty well over the last 24 hours, obviously this trend for the past few weeks has been down because Bitcoin has just been exploding past, 40, 45, 50,000 US dollars. But as we mentioned earlier about the Bitcoin retest, same exact thing here. I think Ethereum is going to be exploding in the Bitcoin Ethereum pairing over the next few weeks. Because more importantly, what's going on here with Ethereum? So, ever since we broke out of its, ascending triangle or rising wedge, whatever you want to call it, either way, they keep breaking to the upside. We have hit our upside target, and we have, as of, the past 48, 72 hours or so. But now we seem to be in, again, some sort of a rising wedge type pattern. You can see it here. Multiple touches just on the bottom here, many that we've cemented within the last 72 hours. And then you can see so many touches as well on this top line here, and Ethereum continues to rally. But now the key here is this. If Ethereum actually does initiate the very top of this channel, that would be, as of right now, exactly 2,000 US dollars. And basically what I'm saying there is, what if in fact this $2,000 price target here, if we break out of this upward trending rising wedge, if we do break out of this and break 2,000 US dollars, that will be the catalyst to absolutely moonshot us, 2,500, even, 3,000 US dollars over the next few weeks. I definitely think that is most likely for Ethereum. So what I'm going to be doing basically is just watching this Ethereum chart very, very closely, because what you want to monitor is just all of these very, very exact touches on the top of this rising wedge. And we're not quite up to the top of this rising wedge as I'm speaking, right? It would be about 2,000 US dollars per ether before we'd even touch. Wow, and something incredibly important we need to point out as well, guys, is that regardless of what's happening here with the DXY, with this 21 and 50-day moving average, as we've been bouncing straight up and through it multiple times over the past few weeks, what is really happening on these longer time frames? Just a continued rejection of the 21-week moving average, which we have not been above since all the way back in May of 2020. Our first dip was back because of the crash back in March, the global crash there. That was our first real big drop below the 21-week. And you can see we stayed above it for a few weeks, but ultimately the trend was very down. And again, for people that think it's going to repeat exactly like in 2018, what eventually happened was we did reclaim the 21-week. And even multiple times before we truly reclaimed it, we were able to at least break above it. Okay, you see it back here, and then ultimately it was able to reclaim the 21-week. However, that is not anything what we've seen so far this year and in 2020. It's been much more bearish so far, in my opinion. We have not had a single weekly close above the 21-week, which we did multiple times, many times back in 2017 and 2018 when the dollar recovered a little bit, but we haven't seen that a single time in 2020 or in 2021. So what does that mean? The US dollar obviously is more bearish, not even just technically, but fundamentally more bearish than ever. And ultimately what that can mean for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is massive pumpage continued. And guys, you best believe that these altcoins are also gearing up to continue to explode. As we've been saying, altcoins are not just going to break their all-time high from 3 years ago and just kind of fizzle out. Over the next few weeks, I'm 100% convinced that altcoins are going to continue to rally very much to the upside. Is it going to be when Bitcoin, maybe stabilizes around 55 or even 60,000 US dollars or something like that? Because again, Bitcoin does seem to have more room to go to the upside. Bitcoin's extremely bullish right now, but altcoins are extremely bullish as well, and not even just speculatively. There's some fundamental reasons to be bullish on altcoins, whether it's because of decentralized finance and all of these new applications or not. There is a real use case that I think people that are new and entering the space are understanding, oh, golly gee, this is actually very, very big stuff, and there's more to the space than just Bitcoin. Wow, so if you guys are new to the channel, make sure to hit that like, make sure to subscribe, make sure to turn on those post notifications. For anybody interested in trading, make sure to take advantage of our trading bonuses below on Bybit and Femex. Never trade more than you're willing to lose, and only do it if you have experience and you want to support the channel. And without any further spladoosh, bye-bye!